Welcome to Wine and Real Estate. And on this episode, we have an awesome guest, Sandro, Canada. I guess you rebranded yourself, Sandro. Uh,
Yes.
so, Sandro is a Brazilian Canadian entrepreneur, award winning real estate investor, certified coach, public speaker, best selling author who uses his creative skills to find opportunities that most people ignore. Sandro finally retired from his 9 to 5 grind to become a full time real estate investor, and he is recognized in the industry for his creativity, tenacity, and mindset. Congrats,
Yes.
Sandro.
And for his
Thank
nice
you.
smile.
Yes, that's it.
Thank
Still
you.
smiling. And since his decision to become a professional real estate investor, Sandro went from 7 doors to 114 doors in 1 year. Wow.
In the
Okay.
first year. That's amazing.
Yes.
Let's
Thank
drink to
you.
that.
Yes.
Let's
Cheers.
drink to that.
Cheers.
Cheers
Cheers.
to you, Sandro.
Salud. So he's acquiring multifamily properties across Canada, US, and Brazil. And Sandro graduated in business and law and brings over 2 decades of experience in the field of sales, customer experience, coaching, and business development. So, Sandro, I thought you were like 25, so 20 years.
Oh my
Something
goodness.
doesn't add up.
I love you, brother. Oh man. I should say
Something's
Fran-
off.
Je t'aime, Francois.
No, si je t'aime.
25. Man, this is wow.
Those were the days.
I won the week. This is amazing. Man, I'm turning 47 in August.
Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that for sure. Like 25, sorry, no, but 47, I wouldn't have thought that.
47, yes. Like, oh man, I'm getting old. The good thing is like being black. So when shows we have a saying in Brazil that when a black person starts showing the age, it's like close to 100.
Yes, it's so true, though.
It's right. You guys have great skin. We're always so jealous.
Yeah, we need lots of lighting so it
Yes.
hides all the flaws.
You always
like-
have a
was-
great tan and no wrinkles. You have to tell us what the trick is someday.
Oh
I think
man,
it's
I was
114 doors. That's probably what's happening there.
but I was teasing my wife because my wife, she's like super white. I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
Janet, we go to the beach and then you cannot stay for long because then
No.
you turn pink. If it's too cold, you become blue.
Mhm.
And then if you're mad, you're red. And then you
Yes.
call me a man of color? I'm the same color no matter what.
That's so true, though. See, we're reading, like Jennifer's
Yes,
laughing.
I'm laughing and I'm getting red.
So we're colored people. So seriously, Sandro, though, like you have to tell us what's the secret? 7 to 114 in like
In the first year.
wow,
That's amazing.
Yes,
in
wow,
3
no,
countries
thank
now
you.
too. So
And so I am so for me, one of my mottos as an entrepreneur is that I rather have a slice of a watermelon than to have the whole grape for myself.
yes.
So through the power of leverage, and so you basically it's a combination of things. So creativity, leverage, and action. So then you can scale very quickly,
Yeah.
right? Because then I see myself in a position to leverage 6 things. You leverage other people's money, other people's time, other people's deals, other people's credit, other people's network, and
Mhm.
other people's knowledge. So, and then following that formula and are willing to take action, then you have no other option but to see results, right? And yes, and also my risk appetite is very high, like very high.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh yes, I have a very high tolerance for risk. And when things are going bad, I always ask myself, what is the worst case scenario?
That's it.
This. If the worst case scenario happened, am I going to die? If the answer is no, okay, let's go.
We sound very similar. That's a question I asked. Like, is anybody bleeding, dying? No? Then okay. In Canada, though, if you do lose your house in winter, there might be some issues. We'll turn very blue.
Oh man, the good thing that my in-laws they have their house paid off, so
That's it. Then you're okay. So that is important, and you do cover something there too, taking action. Because I meet so many people that go from course to course to course, and they binge watch like coaching and things. I'm like, just do something. please just do something. And it's gonna change your life. And you will make mistakes, no matter what happens, no matter how
Yes.
much planning you do. Things do go apart sideways, and you're a coach, so maybe you have some other tips to kind of mitigate or how to learn with your mistakes or move on.
Well,
Or
this is a very interesting topic. I was coaching one of my students right before our call,
oh wow,
and I came on the call, and then you have a series of videos to watch and connect with some people. There's like, some homework. So I asked him, did you watch the videos? No, I did not. Did you
oh
connect with people? No, I did not. Okay, so what did you do the last 2 weeks? Well, I closed on a 17-plex and I put a 12 units in the contract, and I'm looking to a piece of land that I'm going to build 200 plus units. It's like, oh my goodness, you are
okay,
doing
Wow.
it.
well that's good, okay, that's
And
better.
then another student that goes to every single meetup and workshop and event and mastermind and different networks. It's like, and did you buy a product? Not yet. I'm almost there.
Mhm.
And haven't even submitted a single offer. So it became a workshop junkie, right? And
Yeah,
what blows my mind is the amount of money that
well
they are
that's it,
spending. It's like, with
down
this money,
payment.
I could buy a house and triple this money, and why not, right?
No, it's so
Yes.
true.
So, what was kind of like the biggest risk that you took, and how did that pay off?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
Yeah,
so
excited
so,
to
curious.
well,
hear that.
this is very interesting. So the big risk for me was leaving Brazil, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is a
That is
big
huge.
one.
Because
Yep.
when I decided to immigrate to Canada, I knew nothing but what I've seen on YouTube and I've seen on the immigration portal and connected people here, but I have never been in Canada.
The
So I
shiny
had an
brochures.
idea. Oh, yeah. So I had an idea of what to expect, but that was just in my imagination because I didn't
Mhm.
really know actually how cold it is. No idea. I had never seen
No,
snow, right? So
you
that was
go
the
to your
biggest.
freezer to warm up in
Oh
winter.
my
It's
goodness.
warmer than outside.
So that was the biggest risk that I definitely took in my life, right?
Ah, okay.
And paid off. Wow. Coming and I am proud to say this because I immigrated to Canada in 2010, and I
Mm.
immigrated through the Quebec provincial immigration
Ah, c'est
program.
pour ça que tu parles français aussi?
Yes, that's why I learned how to speak French. But then when I immigrated, I had basic French and no English, which
Oh, okay.
means
Big
that
hindrance.
I self-taught myself French, I self-taught myself English. And when you have a sense of urgency, then you got to keep moving,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So that's why when difficult circumstances come on my way, um, I build a very strong resilience
Mm.
to be able to support these challenges.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you can apply that to real estate. I
Yes.
mean, learning,
Mm-mm.
being kind of dumped in a country, I mean, by choice, in a different language, different culture, different weather, and all kinds of things you
Yeah.
don't expect. So I know in Brazil it's very different. While here, like there's snow and you never know when there is snow. There could be snow in July for all we
Oh
know.
my
And there
goodness.
could be
Yes.
heat in January and we don't know. So that's just like real estate. Things can go south and go sour and you got to be ready to turn on a dime. So
Yes. Very, very true. And also, as Jennifer asked, so how that paid off? Well, now I am more understanding of people that actually took me a long time because for me, when somebody was complaining about something, my immediate response was, okay, go spend a weekend in Rio or Sao Paulo in the favelas, then we talk. But
yeah.
then a friend of mine that also immigrated from Brazil said, well, Sandro, you come from humble beginnings. So you had to do what you had to do in a survival mode. But a
Hmm.
lot of people here, they are spoon fed with a silver
Oh yeah.
spoon. So the you gotta be understanding of the fact that the type of resilience that you can endure, they can't because that's all they know. So
Yeah.
then once I understood that, and I'm dealing with people that are going through challenges that for me is like, guys, this is kindergarten. But now I have a sense of which my wife calls me sometimes that I have no heart, but I try to have some compassion to at least try
Yeah.
to understand where are you
Mm.
coming from, why, and work through these challenges and issues, right?
Yes. Well, I think that's why so many people that immigrate to Canada have so much success because you come from humble beginnings and you're just a fighter. Like you're just gonna come here and
Yeah.
fight your way through.
You're like a
Oh,
shark
yes.
when you
Yeah.
arrive in Canada. And we've read some stats like most people immigrating to Canada
Don't have
succeed.
much.
I think it's 3 times as much as born and raised Canadians.
Yeah, because we're big babies.
Yeah, like, oh, I can't do this.
You said it.
It's too much work. Oh, I'm gonna suffer. While you're like, this is nothing. Like you said, the poverty in Rio and stuff. It's something else. People are really suffering a lot more, and they have to make do. We've been to Costa Rica and we see how they build things by hand. Here we have all this machinery and
Oh,
stuff, and
no.
10 people doing one little thing, while over there it's one guy hanging
Doing
out
everything.
thing.
Yes, just the guys that were working on our house in Costa Rica. I was just like praying. I'm like, oh, I need to go into the kitchen. I can't look at that.
If they fall, they're dead, but they're painting at $3 an hour.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. It's a huge difference. And it's interesting that, we're talking about the shocking factor. And as I think about my journey, I remember one day I was coming from university. And in Brazil, I would work. So my job was about 1.5 hours to 2 hours ride from my house,
Wow.
which is like 15 kilometers distance, but because
But
of the traffic,
yeah.
right? Very heavy traffic. So I would go to work. So I would leave my house around 6 to be at work for 8. Would work
Wow.
until 5:30, leave the office, go to school. Then it would start at 7 o'clock until 10:30, the university, and then go home. And I get home like close to midnight. So one
Wow.
day I'm getting home, and it was quiet street. I get home, close the door, and was just like this noise. And I asked my parents, like, "Oh my goodness, somebody's blowing. Oh my goodness, how you call this thing? Those little bombs, not little bombs, but when you have Christmas, when you have
Like
special
firecrackers or
yes, firecrackers. That's how we call it.
Or little
fireworks
whistles or
or
something.
Fireworks.
Yes.
Thank
yeah.
you. She's like, "Oh, this sounds like fireworks." My dad, "No, this is not liking fireworks." Yes, it is. Anyways, they didn't let me go outside because it was like for a bit. Next morning, and I'm getting ready to leave my house. Then there was around I woke up at 6 or 6:37. I see this big movement literally in front of our house. Well, what I thought was fireworks was actually an individual literally in our door to being executed
Oh.
with
Oh
like automatic gun machine. So like
Wow.
many. So I didn't see the body because at that time the police took away.
Thank
But
goodness.
like there was a matter of 15 minutes from I got home to that started. So if it was 15 minutes late,
You would have
what
been.
would happen? Right. So this
Wow.
is the type of environment that I came from, like literally growing up in the hood. Imagine the
Oh,
hood,
wow.
just keep going a little further. And then you get here, people say, "Oh, the US is the American dream." It's like, no, 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 no. The American dream lives north. The American dream is right here in Canada.
Yeah, well, it's true because in the US, there's many, like, a lot more violent cities and stuff. Huge opportunities if you're able to navigate it. But yeah, we think we got some bad areas. That's nothing. We went to Detroit the past summer, and yeah, we've seen war zones and things I never. Yeah, Jennifer just said, keep driving. So,
We're
yeah,
not stopping.
no, if
Oh
you
my
stop, your
goodness.
wheels are gone. So
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. So Sandro, you've been here for now 13 years. When did you start investing in real estate?
So bought my first condo in 2012, 2013,
A long time
right?
after you got here?
Yeah. So I got here, and then one of my friends bought a house. It's like, "How did you buy a house? We worked together."
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my first job here was installing satellite dish for Bell Canada,
Okay.
right?
Wow.
So
During
what
the
a
summer?
contrast, right? Yeah. So back in Brazil, here I am walking around in suit up because I'm a lawyer, and then get here. Well, you don't speak the language. Go get a tech job. So I got
Yeah.
a job, and my friend, also Brazilian, bought a house. It's like, "Tiago, how did you do this?" "Oh, I just went to the bank." "Man, tell me what is your bank." So I went to the bank, and I remember as was today, the bank advisor, so the financial advisor, he's also an immigrant from Croatia.
Oh
And
wow.
then he said, "Well, Scotiabank has a special program for newcomers.
Yeah.
So you can apply for that and I can help you out. And literally, they approved me for 300. It's like, no, I'm going to buy a condo that is 150. So I pay a very small mortgage. And worst case scenario, if I have to go work for Tim Hortons, I'll be able
You're
to pay
still
the
fine.
mortgage.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it was like
smart.
5% down. And I bought the condo in Gatineau. And it's like, oh my goodness. So then the condo below mine came up for sale. I bought the condo as well. Met my wife in 2012. We got married in 2013. And then it's like, Janet, this is it. Because of course I read Poor Dad Rich Dad book. It's like, this is it. I'm gonna change my life through real estate. But then once I went to buy my third property in 2016,
The bank said no.
oh yes, get out of here. And
You're
it's
not
like,
special
whoa,
anymore.
right? It's like, man, how people keep doing this? And at this point, I had already moved up. I was in sales. I was selling HVAC for a large HVAC company. But then, fast forward 2018, trust me, I kept trying every single year, trying. Couldn't understand why nobody would give me money to buy the property. Say, oh, I had an idea. Gonna put some friends together and
Yeah.
maybe we buy. So then, five of us, five Brazilians, got together. We bought a property near to Algonquin College to rent the rooms for
Perfect.
students. We renovated the 2018. I was renovating the property. 2019, we got the first tenant,
Woo.
and then pandemic happened.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
So then it's like, wow, there's no more students. Algonquin is
Nope, they're
closed.
gone.
So we had to pivot very quickly.
Yeah.
And then my business partner, she said, well, there are young professionals that they still need a nice place to live. So let's pivot towards young professionals. And that was like key. So we did pivot. And then working on outside sales, without the lockdowns, I couldn't go to anybody's house to sell a furnace
Nope.
or an air conditioner. I find myself sitting at home. It's like, you know what? If I want to do real estate, I got to get serious. So right now we are already in 2020. I found these guys from London and Windsor doing a boot camp online and it was free. So I came to the boot camp as a digital one. And this guy were talking about B lenders, C lenders, private money,
Yeah.
hard money. Like, what?
All
Was
new things.
literally, as in the Bible says, like this comes out of my eyes, and there's a whole new universe
Yeah.
came
Wow.
in front of me. So then, one guy was in this group, Steven. It's like, dude, you're putting offers and walking throughs and closing this. How you do it? It's like, well, I got a mentor. I gotta meet your mentor. So finally, I met his mentor that became my mentor, and that's when the game changed. So I will say that even though from 2013 to 2019, I bought 3 properties in a total of $7. So at the moment that I got the right mentorship, that's when the game changed.
Yeah.
We can see that you went from 7 to 100 and
14.
114. So that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes.
Huge. Like the the graph would be insane.
that
Oh
brings you the
man.
is
value of a
great.
mentor.
Yeah. But it's so true because when you're scared or you don't know or you struggle, then you have someone to rely on and to push you and to educate you. And you mentioned earlier risk appetite, but I'm sure there's some calculation behind your risk as well. Your
Yes.
mentor has a plan. I mean, you're not
Yes.
just, oh, let's just do whatever random and then you're really gonna
Oh yes. Oh
fall
yes.
down. So
Even though I'm a very relational individual, therefore I can be very emotional. But when it comes to real estate, the
it's a business.
numbers, they never lie, right?
Yeah.
So I rely on the numbers. And if the numbers they don't make sense, it doesn't matter how much I like the deal, I will
Moving
not do it.
Yeah.
But before getting away from a deal, I always try to look to see every single opportunity that I have to turn around. And being creative helps me to see usually some opportunities that, as I mentioned before, most people would ignore.
Yeah.
So, for example, there's one property that was in the market in Campbell's Bay. It was a 5-plex. It was on the market for like a very long time. Every single person that I know looked into that deal and they walked away because the numbers they would not make sense.
Yeah.
So I come in and say, well, they have an oil furnace. You spend $15,000 to change the heating system with a gas furnace, even propane. Right
Yeah.
there, the NOI goes to the roof. You put some. They had like a nice piece of land at the back. You put here a storage, charge the storage from the tenants, an extra NOI, and
Yeah.
then the other thing that I did was charge for parking. So right now, a property that was being say was for sale for 165, and I bought for 160 by just tweaking little things in 3 months. Then the value went from 160 to 400, and
Wow.
then I moved on the project. But those are things that for me was like, but this is common sense. I'm like, well,
No,
but
not
Sandro,
to everybody.
yeah, and it's very interesting, right? But then I literally get a deal and I spend time looking into all the potential and I go to AirDNA. What if I do short-term rental? If I do long-term rental, there's hospital, there's school, there what is around here? And then
Yeah.
I go to Google Maps to see the growth, right? Like what is happening around when you're able to see, sorry, Google Earth, are able to see the progression through pictures, what is happening
Yeah.
on the surround area. So I do a throughout analysis, but then I just no, let's go. Don't waste my time.
You sound a lot like Francois.
Yeah. Well, in real estate, I think there's a few key elements, and we'll see if you agree. But number one is people. So who you surround yourself with, like mentors and networking. Number two is time. So you do need time, as you mentioned, taking time to really analyze, and then it collapses. Then you need to act quickly. So
Yes.
I find those are the two biggest elements: money, all that stuff. It's everywhere. Everybody has some money. If not, you can round up people and create corporate structures. There's a million ways to slice it. So it's not the money. It's really who you're with. And the creativity. I'd say those are the main elements. The rest, yeah, you just gotta look, open your
I
eyes.
couldn't agree more with you. As a matter of fact, I do believe that anyone can get rich just by hanging out in the right rooms.
Yeah, it's
Because now
shocking.
rubbing shoulders with action takers who are money makers. If you're there, I mean, you know what I mean? Like this is the people that I hang out with.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Eventually, you're gonna start doing things as well. Now, uh, it's important to say that I see people going to all these different events and meetups and why not using that premise as the skills, but it's not just being in the right room rubbing shoulders. It's also doing what gotta be done, right?
well,
You
that's it.
gotta take the
You need to do the
action.
work.
Yes.
And also, I find networking, maybe at first, you kind of mentioned that you started out as well. Sometimes you got to upgrade your networking too. So sometimes you meet up at kind of beginner level, which is fine. You need to start somewhere. And then when everybody starts asking you questions and they say that a lot, like you're the smartest person in the room, even though may not be, but the one that's most knowledgeable, then you might need to change and upgrade your network and
Need to change rooms.
yeah, change rooms, like go and then people that challenge you and then go again and get people that challenge you. So there's like phases to learning and to real estate
Yes.
investing.
Yes. And not and I definitely do this. This is a part of my living. I tap into a network in the US recently. And it's a very interesting cause. It's one of the guys from Bigger Pockets. He created a community. So, anyways, I joined and a little secret. So
Ooh,
when I was answering the questionnaire, right? When I was answering the questionnaire, they asked 4 questions: who you are, what you do for a living, what is your net worth, and where do you live. And I made the decision consciously to answer 2 of the 4 questions in the person of my future self.
yeah,
So
Mm.
behave so you become.
yeah,
Mm.
So then, based on that, because that was how they're deciding who was going where, and they placed me in a pod where the individuals there they are making 7 figures plus in
wow,
income, plus the
yeah,
net worth, and why not? So it's
great,
interesting because when I was in the first meeting, I was attacked
yeah,
by the imposter syndrome. But it's like,
yeah. You're
Mm.
like,
wait
I'm
a
in the
minute.
wrong place.
Yes.
Mm.
But wait a minute. This is what I believe my future self is. So I'm going to behave as I am today. And I'm not just getting value from these individuals, but I'm also in a position to give value because my life
Mhm.
experience, because
Yeah,
the way that I think, the way that I structure deals. And it's literally, and then of course I got in a very heated argument in my small group when I mentioned this fact. It's like, oh, you're lying. So, but here's the thing: it's not a lie because I truly believe in my core that this is who I am. It's about my identity,
Yeah.
right? And then being able to level up to this type of rooms and then walk in the room owning it, right? I belong here. And why not? Also makes a big difference because at the end of the day, when you do all those things and then now you find a deal and are talking to investors, if you come, hey, Francois, I have this deal and I need some money here. It's like, well, said okay. But if I come in and hey, I have an amazing opportunity here,
Yeah.
and I give you the opportunity to participate, but you
Mhm.
gotta think quickly because I don't have enough space. Oh, okay, now Sandro is doing something right. I gotta be there, right? Changes the narrative. No?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
creating this scarcity. It's a sales concept, and I know in your bio you said you had many years of sales experience. Same
Yes,
idea. Instead of
Mhm.
selling HVAC as you were doing, now you're selling big projects.
yes,
Same difference, really. You're just the numbers are different, the people are slightly different, but the wants and the values are the same.
Yeah, and
So
you're a
yes,
visionary. Mhm.
yes. And I've realized that when you're doing sales training, then people say, "Oh, you have to sell what people need," but I realized that people they're not going to buy what they need; they're going to buy what they
no,
want. So then let's
exactly.
find out
People,
what they want. So then I give what they want.
I have a good example for that. I maybe she'll listen anyway. My mom buys so much what she wants that she'll even buy shoes that are too small, but she still wants them. We're like, what?
Or too
Okay,
big.
or too big or too small. She's like, I like them. They didn't have them in my size, so I still bought them. Why?
Wow.
Why would you do that? So it's so true. People have an aspirational self, and you're kind of doing that too. But your goal is to grow, while others, it's in a different, anyway, different mindset, like shoes that don't actually fit. But anyway, like your toes are sticking out that long.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I love that. Well, not the shoes, but
yeah,
seeing yourself sort of in the future. So, what's next for you, Sandro? I mean, the market's been changing lately.
Brazil,
There's still
US.
good deals to be found, but what's
Yes.
next for you? Where's
Yes.
That's the
And
next big
again,
what's
thing.
Sandro 2025 or
Yeah.
yeah, so very interesting and great question. So I had, getting myself in different rooms. I met a very successful entrepreneur from Ottawa that he is that close to become a billionaire.
Wow.
wow.
So he's already there. Like he is very, very close. So we've been following each other on social media, and I'm sure you guys know him because he has some project in Costa Rica as well. Mr. Steve Cody. And
Oh yes, yes. Oh, with banking.
yeah,
Okay. Yes,
so
we've
we've been
chatted.
following each other on social media for a while, and then he sent him a message. Oh, Sandra, we should go for a coffee sometime soon. It's like, well, if Steve invited for a coffee, you drop what you're
Yeah.
doing, you go because the dude got it right. And then in our hour together, I asked him, so Steve, if you can give me an advice, as an entrepreneur that I am, and sometimes it's the grind and the grit. What is the one advice you have for me? It's like, well, Sandro, this is what worked for me. I always see money in three layers. You gotta think money as cash flow money, then lifestyle money, then you go for home run.
Yeah.
And I realized that some of the projects that I got myself involved, they are home runs, but yet my cash flow is not taken care of yet.
Mm.
Mhm.
So then what is coming? So all that to say that conversation was key to transform the way that I see my business. So
Wow.
right
Mhm.
now, I am solely focused. So this year, my main goal is to put my living expenses in cruise mode, autopilot through
Yeah.
cash flow money. So
Perfect.
then next year, okay, now I can indulge myself a little bit with the lifestyle. And then so then when we hit 2025, I'm going to be talking about home runs all day long.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No, that's amazing. And that's again the power of networking, even through social media. A lot of people don't realize that. I get all kinds of messages. I'm like, seriously, you're talking to me? Like, what? Or Jennifer, we were at an event last night and people came up and they're like, Jennifer, we know you. She's like, who are you? So it's really neat, like who you can connect with in other countries too and locally. It can really change your perspective on lots of things. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Sandro, for sharing a little bit about your story.
Oh
If
my
people
goodness,
want
my
to get a
pleasure.
hold of you and have coffee with you that might change their lives, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I am in all the social media platforms: TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and I think I have five. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and
YouTube,
Pinterest.
Pinterest, okay.
YouTube, I created, but I haven't started. I'm preparing the videos. So all these platforms slash Sandro Canada. So any
Perfect.
platform slash Sandro Canada, let's connect. I would love to share a little bit of my experience. And I've been big in mindset. I've been working with a lot of individuals, working through mindset and belief systems, right?
Yeah.
Building resilience and why not. So I'd love to connect and give a hand and help so we all grow together.
That's awesome. And I think that a lot of people would get a lot of value from getting coaching from you. I think that
Oh,
you're very inspiring.
Yes,
wow,
really.
thank you. And coming from you guys, oh, my head is getting too big now. Come
Uh,
on.
but seriously, just like you, we started with humble
Mhm.
beginnings. We started a few years before you, but again, I had a minimum wage job and everything.
Oh
It's just
man,
really if you put your mind to it, and it's
yes.
shocking. Like even other countries, I never thought we'd be in like 4 continents now, 6 countries, and
Oh wow.
very soon more. I don't know.
Woo! I love it.
Oh,
Yes.
Why
Sandro.
not?
Oh, Jennifer is in
I
panic
even
mode now.
I started talking about Mars, so maybe there's gonna be
Oh,
some cheap real estate there,
oh
and you
no.
want to be the first there. So we'll
Yes.
see.
Yes.
It will be you and Sandro on Mars.
Yeah,
Oh
Mars
yes, you bet.
underwater. That's not developed as well. Why not? Dubai
Yes.
has some odd
Yes.
underwater places. So
And you make me remember. So you remind me of that the nomad capitalist,
yes,
and very like young guy. You probably know him, but his
Andrew.
concept is very interesting
Mhm.
because you're literally creating, you're putting your wealth in a mode that is recession proof because now you're so much leveraging different markets that if
Diverse.
this
Yeah.
one is sinking, the other one is holding
Just
it, right?
abandoned the ship.
Yeah,
So that's what
love
we're
it.
doing. You found our
Thank
secret.
No, don't tell it.
Yeah, no bad capitalist. Or the in Canada, it's the which
Offshore citizen.
offshore citizen. That's the Canadian version of the nomad
Offshore
capitalist.
citizen. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna make some
same
notes.
concept, but
Yes.
he talks about all the Canadian laws, and well, he also talks about American, but the focus is more for Canadians, which we love. So that's it
Oh
for wine
man.
and real estate. Sandro, we'll have to catch up in 2025 and hear about your cash flow
Yes.
situation and
Yes.
how you're splurging and your home runs, and maybe before then. But anyway,
Yes.
we'll
Yes.
kind of
That's
plant
for
that
sure.
seed for 2025. Don't forget us.
Yes.
I will never forget. And then just to wrap it up, and all that comes down to purpose. When we do something with a purpose, right? And I mean,
Yes.
I when I'm dealing with people that they have no belief system, it's hard for me to have a conversation.
Yeah.
My
Mhm.
belief system, so I believe in God, right?
Same
So
here.
for me, it's about God and the sacrifice of Jesus and the Holy Spirit and things like that. So I'm not religious, but it's about the relationship. And then once I understood that I was given the power to create, then it becomes limitless, right? The
Mhm.
sky is literally the limit, and that's what moves me, you know.
The
So,
Oh.
sky's not the limit, in my opinion. The universe is, but that's
ooh,
okay. We'll discuss that
preach
one.
on, brother. Amen to that. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Amen.
Guys, such an honor. Oh my goodness, such an honor to have this opportunity to
Oh,
hang
thank
out with you guys.
you.
You guys are amazing. I follow you, Francois, for a long time, and I love everything you're doing. You inspire me. I look up to you, and I
Wow.
definitely want to follow your footsteps.
Well,
Oh,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Take care, everyone. Cheers.